Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Don't forget to loaf and labor every now and then. All right, today's Thursday, so I always like to do some kind of a story or reminder, a tidbit in the Greek mythology. Ariadne's thread is what I want to talk about today. I love this idea that King Minos had angered the sea god Poseidon, and his spouse, Queen Pasiphae, angered Aphrodite. They were supposed to sacrifice a bull to the gods, but the king loved the bull too much and didn't want to do it, so it really angered the gods. So what they did is they caused the queen to be enchanted and mate with a bull. And so that's how the Minotaur was born, half bull and half human, and it needed sacrifice. So since Athens was going through a drought, they put themselves in debt to King Minos. And so he said, you have to send us some youths and virgins every so often to sacrifice to the Minotaur. And so his crafty Leonardo da Vinci type, whose name was Daedalus, he built this labyrinth, which was such a difficult maze to try to work through that once you entered it, you never could find your way out. And eventually you would end up at the center, and that's where you'd meet the Minotaur, and he would devour you. So one time when they were sending some of these Athenian youths for the sacrifice, the king's daughter Ariadne saw Theseus, who's the eventually would become the king of thieves. She fell in love with him, and she didn't want to see him destroyed. So she went to Daedalus and said, "What can we do to ensure that he can get in and out and not get eaten by the Minotaur?" So he said, "Actually, it's very simple. Give him this skein of thread and have him unroll it as he walks into the labyrinth. And that way, if he can get to the center and kill the Minotaur, then he'll be able to trace his way back out and not get lost." And of course, that's what he did. And so I love that image of having the thread unfolding as you're going forward into the labyrinth or the maze of your life. Then you have a path to follow back. So I just like that image, follow Ariadne's thread. All right. As you know, I always like to remind myself, first of all, as always, about what I'm working on, and I hope that there's something human, pan-human about it that you can relate to. And I'm always thinking about how my words and my thoughts affect what's happening in my life. My teachers have taught me that what comes to the forefront of your consciousness comes to the forefront of your experience. So what is active in your vibration? Because that's where your point of attraction is going to be. And you are a blessed being and you deserve well-being, but you want to align yourself with what helps well-being, which is don't have stinking thinking. Yeah. So you got to suggest things to yourself that will improve your life. And so remember this, and that's another little mantra right there. From today on, my memory is improving in every direction, in every department. All right, now I've also been acknowledging the teachings of the Taoists. And first of all, their general idea is, of course, like go with the flow. And they would say little homilies like the teeth are hard and they fall out, the tongue is soft and stays the rest of your life. So softness overcomes hardness. This idea of being peaceful and not interfering with things which disturbs your equilibrium has a lot to do with recognizing that agitation in any form robs you of reflection and clarity of mind. So if you're going to see things, see into things and make decisions based on that, you ought to do it when your mind is calm. And of course, that's the same receptivity is necessary to do good suggestions for yourself. They're very, very zen about don't think of what you should be doing or could be doing. Think of what you are doing and immerse yourself in that. It really gets you into the here and now. And of course, they're really reminding you that, as it says in the Gospels, what you say in secret will one day be shouted from the housetops. If there's something you don't want anyone to know about, don't do it. Be clear as if every action or every thought could be reflected on the Jumbotron And you'd have to, like, look at, like, this is what you did, this is what you said, this was your attitude. Kind of crazy, right? Nonetheless, what I'm really saying is you're like a sage who understands that certain actions mess you up, throw you off course, or you could say it's like you got a disease. And so you don't do those things that give you the disease because you realize what would happen if you have the disease and you don't want that. So you don't do that. And of course, one of the things is you got to come to grips with where you're hurt. And as I say, if you don't honor your own wound, you'll lead a provisional life, just making do and getting by. But inside, there's like an inner canker eating you up. So once you understand that you have the capacity to develop a kind of radar sensitivity about everything within yourself and around you, and it taps from I think, what I call the mystic, ancient, utopian hunger. And I'm not a worrier, and I suggest that you don't worry. Warriors are people who want to have life under control. There's very little about our life that we can control. So you got to flow with a lot of stuff. And yes, use your agency to control the 1 inch, the square field, the square inch field that you have to deal with. But other than that, go with the flow. It's basically out of your control. And then I can't say it enough. Relax every day in some form of silence, self reflection, meditation, reverie, whatever, where you can avoid talking, doing, even thinking. And that's how you'll develop faith in the flow of life. And always trust your companions, trust your friends, the people in your life who rise you above suspicion and mistrust. And then you'll feel the force of life, the tide of life, pulling you into unity with everything. And so find that which is charming for yourself. And all I can say is remember, women at least have Aphrodite as one image of the charm and beauty that's within their own sense of how to show up in life. Men don't have a deity that represents the love and the beauty in the same way. So if anybody can give me other images besides Cupid or Dionysus to validate the beauty of men's sensuality, let me know, because I'd like to have something archetypal besides the trickster energy to be able to acknowledge the beauty of how the mature male looks into the world. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.